everybody pray. We'll shortly bring it to a close. Keep your lamps trimmed and burning. Keep your lamps trimmed and burning. Keep your lamps trimmed and burning over on the other shore. I've got a mother to in glory. I've got a mother to in glory. I've got a mother to in glory. Over on the other shore, some glad day I'll go and see her. Some glad day I'll go and see her. Some glad day I'll go and see her. Over on the other shore. That glad day may be tomorrow. That glad day may be tomorrow. That glad day may be tomorrow. Over on the other shore. I'm glad today that God has set it up just the way that He has. That it's all about Him. I like that old song that he sang. I've heard that my whole life. And some of the old brothers sing that. And it's one of those little easy songs that just sticks with you. And it always reminded me of church. We traveled a lot when I was little. We'd go to churches, and as Brother Larry said, all over from Michigan all the way down through Ohio and Indiana, Kentucky and Virginia and West Virginia, and just going to church and visiting. Because I believe that God's people are hungry for the Spirit of God. If you're never hungry for that blessing, something's wrong.
Yeah, something missing.
If you never, I know that we have our ups and our downs, and you know what? There's been times I've been to church and I might as well have been sitting there reading a newspaper. That's not God's fault, that's my fault.
That's right. Something running away.
That's my fault. But we know that we have good times and bad times. But you know what? It's not an instance that measures you. It's your life. It's your life. You can make your mistakes and do good works and make mistakes and things, but it's your life that people will look back and say, yeah, they were one of the good ones. So if you'll pray just for a minute at a time, and I'm so thankful to get to be here today. I like to just see who comes in. I do. I like getting to church. I always like being the first one there and get the doors open and just seeing who starts coming into church today. Because it's important to me. It means a lot.
Amen.
And we, the preachers of this church, we ought to be hungry. How many times have we come out to church over the last few years and just had us sitting here looking at each other? And that makes it difficult sometimes for a minister to try to preach when you feel like you're trying to force feed everybody that's sitting around that's with you every day. But when God blesses us, listen, to start to grow a little bit, we ought to be the most thankful people.
We're seeing the
And we ought to come off our seats shouting just about.
Yeah.
Because the Spirit of God is just so good to us.
Yeah.
Listen, aren't you glad today? And I want everybody to understand that, you know what? It's not just, you just don't decide that, well, I'm going to accept Jesus today. Listen, I mean, that's good if you say that you accept Jesus, but my question to you is, has He accepted you today? Because you know what? It's not on your conditions that you become a Christian. It's on the conditions of God. Don't you understand that even the devil believes in God? The devil, listen, he believes and he knows that Jesus is the Son of God. Listen, today, what I'm trying to get across to you is a prayer. Just for a minute at a time. Listen, you may say, well then how do you become a child of God? Listen, it starts with you coming to Him. Listen, I can tell you how it started with me, and that's all I've got here today. I can only speak from my experience here, and I can speak from the Word of God here, the written Word of God. But oh, you see, I was raised in a God-fearing family. All my life I was. Listen, and in August, it'll be 40 years, Larry, since I was baptized. Today, and I was raised, listen, going to church. It wasn't a choice in our household. It's just what we did. It didn't matter if we had company in from out of town. Everybody in that house was getting up come Sunday morning. I can remember having relatives come in from out of state. Listen, why stay the night in our home. We only had a 2-bedroom home. Listen, and there was already seven of us children. But when family come in, why it'd be wall-to-wall beds in every room. Listen, but I remember why on Sunday morning my mom would be up early fixing breakfast for everybody early enough to make it to church. And listen, and there was a lot of my family back then that didn't want to go to church. My aunts and my uncles or my cousins, and they wouldn't be church people. But listen, my mom would give them a choice. You either get up and go to church with me, or you better have potatoes peeled when I get home. People, that's just the way it was. She didn't say, well, I'm gotta stay home, I got company today. She didn't make an excuse. Listen, and you know what? She didn't say, well, kids, you stay home with your cousins. Why, it didn't work that way. But you know what? That's the kind of home I was raised in. Today. So when I was little, growing up there, it was normal for me when I lay down at night to say my little prayer like we teach little children to do. But I'm trying to show you the difference between a little innocent child and one that God holds accountable for themselves. Son, God, why not say my little prayer, and then I'd go to sleep satisfied with that little prayer. But you know what? And then as I started growing up, I remember when that changed in my life. I was still doing the same things. I was still going to church on Sunday. Listen, still doing that kind of lifestyle. I never really gave mom and dad a lot of trouble. I never drank before or did any of those things. But oh, I remember when I'd lay down at night and I'd say my little prayer. And guess what, Brother Monty? I wouldn't go to sleep satisfied no more. There was something changed in me. Conviction, it's set up in my heart. And what does that mean? That means God's talking to you. God's calling you. You know what? And it wasn't just where I said, well, I'm one of God's children now. Listen, I got in trouble in my heart on account of my sin. Listen, and if I hadn't started calling on God and begging God, and it started as a begging, I'm telling you right now, I never got my heart in shape to where the Lord would accept me. Don't you know, I prayed 1,000 times, Lord, forgive me for my sins. Lord, take me to heaven. I said, if I said it once, I said it 1,000 times, but it didn't get me anywhere. Listen, because it's a little more real than that, people. God knew He was measuring my heart, not my works. I thought He was measuring my works. God, I go to church every Sunday. I don't give Mom and Dad trouble. What's wrong with me? I'm a good boy. I'm good. Listen, but you know what? If I'd have died in that shame, I'd have gone to the same hell. Listen, as the worst prisoner they've gone, I'd have gone to the same hell. Listen, as the devil's going to, because I'd said I wanted to accept Jesus, but He wasn't ready to accept me, not the shape I was in. So that's what I want you to understand today. It's not about the works, but you know what? There is something you have to do. You got to ask Him. You got to call His name. He said, I stand at the door and knock. If any man opens unto me, listen, I'll come in and sup with him. And I know we read where and when I read about all these old patriarchs and their faith and the works they had and how they persevered to the end, I always think I'd never be that good. Why? And when I read in Hebrews, when it talks about faith and it talks about Abraham, it talks about Moses and all those, oh God, and you know what? And it even comes down, he said, he rehearses a whole bunch of acts, listen, out of the old history about all of them and the works that they did, crossing the Red Sea, listen, the walls of Jericho coming down and all those things. And then he says, and what more shall I say? For time, I don't have enough time to even talk about Gideon. I don't have time to talk about Barak and Samson and Jephthah and David and Samuel and all these who through faith, listen, they subdued kingdoms, they wrought righteousness, obtained promises, they stopped the mouths of lions with their faith, they quenched the violence of fire with their faith, and they escaped on the edge of the sword with their faith. And I'll read that and I think, we just never measure up. But you know what? If you go through, if you went through and you really read about each one of those, you see. You'd see how weak they really were. You'd see just how fallible they were. even old Gideon, we think about how he just went down there. He was a nobody, and he went and fought God's enemies, and he only took 300 with him, and he fought an army of about 1 million. But he didn't want to go.
George, he wouldn't do it that way.
He was afraid to go. He tried about 8 different times. God would talk to him or give him a miracle, trying to move him on his way. People, but that's what life is. But someday, listen, that's all gonna be washed off. That's all gonna fall away from us. All that doubt and all that. You know what? And just like me and Daryl was talking the other day. And I was talking, we always talk about our weekends and about church and what took place in church and how was church this weekend. And we always compare notes, listen, and talk about those things. And I was telling him how last Saturday evening we went over here to Sister Penny's home, listen, and had prayer in her living room. Wasn't hardly room in there for us to stand, was there? Listen, but we just did what we thought God wanted us to do, and we took prayer to her home, and we were talking about that, and he said he went out the other day to one of the old folks' homes out down there. He went to see somebody that was in there, and some of the family was there with him. And while he was there, he said, that man that lived there, the old man, he asked Daryl if he'd hold prayer for him. And Daryl said it surprised him because this man had never asked for prayer or anything like that. And he said he got down and he held prayer there in that man's room. And he said when he stood up, the doorway was kind of crowded. People standing there trying to listen a little bit. And he said he started to leave, and there was an old sister at the doorway in a wheelchair, just leaning over trying to hear, and she stopped him, and she said, will you come down here and pray for my friend? And he said, I will. And he just took her wheelchair, and he walked her down there, and went to another room, and there was another woman sitting in there, and as Daryl pushed her in, he said, is this your room? And she said, no, I don't live here. I'm just here visiting my friend. Listen, and there's another woman standing there, and she spoke up. She said, Mom, you do live here. This is your room. And Daryl said, that little woman just dropped her head and said, that's right. I keep forgetting that. I do live here. And Daryl said he got down on his knees and began holding prayer there. And that little sister began shouting. Listen, he said the whole time he was praying, she was shouting praises to God. You know what? She can't even remember where she lived, but she knows where home is. Listen, that's what my God's got. That's right. And the troubles of this world, I know they get us down, but I'm ready to go home. Listen, have you had enough? Sis, you always have that family of yours on the prayer list, but my God, He knows what we stand in need of. My Lord, He knows what this world brings. Someday I'm going to hear my name called. And you know what? No matter if I'm in a nursing home, and no matter where I am, when I hear my name called, I'm going to recognize that voice. And I won't be looking for nobody else. Just like that little sister over here at 12 Oaks. I'm the one that's in the wheelchair, and she's all curled up, and she can't talk. She tries, and she can't talk. Listen, she'll just grab your hand and just hug it tight as she can and kiss your hand. When I see her over home, She won't be curled over no more. When she gets home, why she won't be in no wheelchair there. And she'll have a voice to sing with the angels. Aren't you glad today? That's the way God works. Listen, we're going to leave this world and we're going home today. And I can't wait sometime. Lord, Lord, how long, Lord, are we going to have to wait here in this evil world? I'm ready to go. It's more real to me today than it was 40 years ago. Let's get us a song.